Hello, everyone. And we want to welcome you to Breakfast with the Greenes. We're your host. I'm James Greene.
And I am Cynthia Greene, and we're the founders of Marriage Built to Last, and we are America's favorite couple.
So, for me, it feels like we haven't spoken to you in months. That's what it feels like.
It's been a while. We took the month of October off.
So we just want to welcome you back. We got some good things to talk about. We just want to make sure that you're enlightened, that you're, everyone's talking about this year leveling up. And we know it's not a lot of time left in the year, but that doesn't make a difference. There's still time.
It's only like 50 something days till the year is over. Wow.
But there's still time. There's still time to get things started. There's still time to get things going. There's still time to start to do what you always wanted to do. So as we go through this, we ask you to share this out. If you have a friend that may need, you have somebody that may need some information, somebody that may need how, to talk about marriage, say their marriage is, whether it's doing good, whether it's struggling, it doesn't matter. You can always still talk about marriage and encourage somebody and influence somebody, because there's a lot of people out here that are influencers, and they can help you go take your marriage to where you want to be, or take your relationship to marriage if that's the case, or that's the place you want to go.
Well, I want to say good morning and happy birthday to my amazing son, Andrew D. Oliver, better known as Drew Oliver on social media, huh? Oh, that was just a couple of days ago. He's on watching this morning. So good morning, son. I love you. Thank you for joining us.
And too bad we couldn't play the song that he made for us.
Yeah, that was our intentions, but time gets away from us. We ate breakfast late. Y'all know we're usually on here cooking breakfast, right? So it's been crazy, and the way our kitchen is set up, we can't get the camera just right. So now we cook breakfast, eat breakfast before we come on. But guess what? We want to know, what are you having for breakfast this morning? Are you having breakfast? Are you having brunch? What are you eating today? Share it in the feed and let us know what you're cooking.
And that's true, because as it gets closer to noon, people could be having brunch.
Absolutely. Well, brunch starts at around 10 o'clock. So anywhere from 10 to 2 is brunch time.
For me, that's not brunch, 10 o'clock.
I'm saying that's the term, the definition of brunch is like 10 to 12, 10 to 2 is brunch time, right? Because people want breakfast and lunch. That's where brunch comes from. But I love brunch buffets. Oh my gosh, they're just amazing.
I'm a breakfast person. Let's be honest.
No, I'm not a big breakfast person.
That's the most important meal of the day.
But my hubby cooks the best breakfast ever. He's the one that usually cooks breakfast on Saturday and Sunday morning. So I love it. I can just sit back, and he'll even clean up the kitchen. So that's a good thing. But you guys, we're talking about something really important right now. And I'm glad we got some young people on, because we're hearing that young people don't want to get married anymore. If you're young and you're on here, say that's me. They just don't see the value in it. Right. And that's not even why we're talking about this topic today. We're talking about this topic today because we are sick and tired of the news, the media, everybody just acting like all the marriages in the world are just terrible. They're raggedy, they're broken, they're falling apart. Everybody's getting divorced, and it's just not true.
Right. And that is the key. The way marriage is portrayed nowadays is always in a negative light. It's always show people cheating, or people talk about cheating, or people, getting divorced. They always highlight the negative. No one ever seems to highlight the positive. And so that way it's portrayed, that's how people get their vision of, look at that, there's another one, look at that, there's this, there's that, there's this. That's why I'm not getting married, because the way it's portrayed in such a negative light that people say, I don't want to go through that.
But what's so interesting though, they'll portray the wedding. Like they love to show a wedding.
At movies, television, they'll show the most beautiful wedding you've ever seen.
Amazing wedding. But TV does not like to show amazing marriages. I don't care what we're watching. If the couple gets married, they're in love, or if the couple's already been married 5 years, 10 years, and they had a great relationship, they always end up tearing that relationship apart. If you know a movie where there's a great marriage, or a TV show, we know a couple of TV shows, and their marriage is great still, and they haven't broken them apart, made their marriage turn raggedy and broken, nobody's cheating. If you know a movie like that, post it in the feed, because we want to hear about it. We want to watch it. We want to watch it, because we have an academy, right, for couples who are in love and loving it. And we have a movie of the month every month. And I would love to have our movie of the month be one that's super positive, where they stay in love and married the whole time. Yes. So,
but I think, baby, the way Hollywood portrays movies nowadays, that if a couple got married and stayed together and were in love they probably wouldn't say it's not a seller, you know?
Oh yeah,
because they always want to show struggling. They always want to show negativity. They always want to show how people go their separate ways. And I guess they feel if a couple gets married and stays together and they love the whole movie, then it wouldn't be much of a movie.
It's terrible. And you know what's so funny? Like, I Google and I go on YouTube looking for relationship movies, right? Because like I said, we have an academy, the In Love and Loving It Academy, that is for couples who really love and like their spouses. It's not for raggedy broken marriage, but if you got one, you can certainly join. And so I always give them a movie. And the only movies where I can see where the love is really strong is when somebody just met and they're dating.
Right.
And so they're all in love, and he does all these wonderful things for her, and she does all these wonderful things for him. But I can't find a movie where they're married and that happens. Right. What is?
Because they always seem to show that the positive in the beginning of the movie. The positive is they're dating. The positive is they're falling in love. The positive is they got married. But then as they move in together and things happen, and come on, life happens. And every marriage isn't going to be perfect. Every marriage isn't going to always be, roses and glory, so to speak. So then they show the struggling part. Life happens. Things happen. One may lose their job, whatever the case may be. Now they're starting to argue, and they turn those little things into big things. And that's a problem in marriages now. A lot of times, couples, one of the parties in the marriage will focus on the negative, will focus on those little things. And they turn them little things into big things. Now it turns into a full blown up argument because you focus on the wrong things, little things, one of those little imperfections that you may not have known before you got married, and you didn't know it until you move in together. And once you move in together, now those little imperfections are bothering you, and you focus on that, and it becomes a big thing, and it turns into an argument. Next thing you know, the couple is ready to go their separate ways.
Wow. So what happened to the respect and love for marriage and the appreciation for marriage? It fell by the wayside because it's portrayed so negatively in the media. But not even just in the media. How many of you know of a really great marriage? I mean, like besides ours, right? I just had to throw that in there. But no, how many of you know of a person that has a really great marriage?
We know quite a few, actually.
Yeah, I mean, we do, but I'm asking if you know somebody with a great marriage, post it in the group. Because next year, because next year for Couples Fest, we're actually going to recognize couples who we believe or you believe has a really great marriage. And you're going to have to tell us why. Not in the feed, but you're going to have to tell us why when you nominate them to be the couple of the year.
And that's what I was going to say. If you pick a couple and say they have a great marriage, why do they have a great marriage? What do you see in them that makes them have a great marriage?
Right. But that's why people don't have respect for marriage anymore. On the news, oh my gosh, I hate to talk about this. There's so much abuse and domestic violence against girlfriends and wives and significant others. In the media, it's been terrible during COVID, like terrible. But y'all, that's not everybody.
That's right.
That's not everybody. But people have lost respect for marriage because of all this negativity that we see around us. They've lost respect for marriage because they can't, their friends got a crazy marriage. They lost respect for marriage because even with the famous people, the celebrities, all they talk about is the things that they're doing. They've been talking a lot about the couples who are swinging. I won't call their names out, who got, what do they call those marriages?
Open
marriages. Yes. So, they've been talking about all of that stuff in the news and on the media. So people don't have any respect for marriage anymore. Well, a lot of people don't.
And then when you think of couples, the woman always seems to say that they need love, and the man always seems to say that they need respect. Well, in actuality, that both of them need to respect each other. You know, and the first thing you need to do is respect the union of marriage. You know, when you come together, you're becoming one. You know, it goes from, like we always say, I do to we do. And when you become one, that's a union that was created when you got married. So when you actually think of divorce, are you respecting that union? Are you respecting the fact that you got married before God?
No, and that's something I wrote too on social media, that marriage is the oldest institution in the earth. Like, it is the oldest institution in the earth. That is one of the first things that God did, was join Adam and Eve together as one. Right. He married them. He made them a couple, and he gave them a purpose in the earth. And I believe that part of the reason why the respect and appreciation is gone from marriage in the earth is because people, when they do get together, when they do have the wedding, when they do move in together and they're married, guess what? They don't have any respect and appreciation for where they're going, because they don't know where they're going. They don't know the purpose of why God joined them together. They don't have no vision. They don't set goals. Like, if you and your spouse are married and you're watching today, tell us, have you ever written any goals together on what you want to accomplish in your marriage together, what you want to accomplish in your life together? And
have you ever talked about the commitment? You know, a lot of people say, okay, I'm committed to this person. And you think getting married is that final commitment. No, that's the first commitment. The second commitment is, okay, now that we're committed to each other, now that we got married, what are we going to commit to moving forward? What are we going to commit to help our marriage grow? And it says that
they don't talk about that.
Right. I just feel they don't. They don't talk about, you know, why do you lose respect for that person? Did that person do something? You know,
I can tell you why they lose respect for that person. Because, like you said, honey, they get married, they move in together, and life happens. You go to work every day, I go to work every day. We come home. If we got kids, we tending to the kids, or we're cooking, or you're watching TV, I'm watching TV, I'm in that room, you're in that room. They lose respect because they're not connected. They're not united. They're not having fun. You had all this fun when you were dating. And then you get married. Where's the fun? Where's dating? Where's date night?
And that's the key, because a lot of couples, maybe not a lot, you know, I haven't actually looked at the studies of it, how many couples are together, and when the kids go off to college, they have nothing to talk about. When it's just them two.
Empty nesters.
When you become empty nesters, now it says we have nothing in common. We have nothing to talk about. Have you thought about that? Have you thought about that when you first made that commitment to each other, when you first got married?
Or even when you see the kids are getting older and they're going to be leaving soon. You know, I know people who are so sad because their kids are going off to college and they're going to be an empty house.
Right, because the marriage is focused around the children.
Yes.
Or child or children.
Yes,
correct.
A child or children, right. And so we've had couples who are empty nesters. They don't know what to do with themselves. Go back to doing what you was doing before you had children.
Right.
You were hanging out. You were having fun. You were going here, going there, doing this, doing that. You were enjoying one another.
But for me, it's a lot of times that you need to talk about, because we know as you get older, things change. People evolve. The world evolves, you know, and things that you used to like to do, maybe you don't like to do anymore. So what does that mean? That means open up a conversation with your spouse and talk about, okay, if the children go off to college, we become empty nesters, or they move out. What are we going to do? What do you like to do now that maybe you didn't like to do before? Right. Start talking about it now, before the kids go off to college, before you become empty nesters. Talk about what you like to do. If you still like to do some of those same things, do those same things. If you like some things differently, then tell them what you like to do differently, so you can start doing those things, and allows you to come closer together. It brings you back together, because now you're doing things together that both or one party likes to do. And I always say, sacrifice leads to success. So if you make a sacrifice on what your spouse likes to do, and maybe you might not like to do it as much, if you make that sacrifice, then they'll make that sacrifice and do some things you like to do and they may not like to do. You know, it's back and forth. It takes two.
Did y'all read my blog this month? You know what? I got to go and post my share my blog on all of my social media. Oh no, that's next week's blog, I think. But my blog is about when tit for tat is good. Like tit for tat is good in some situations. Y'all know you know how you always say, don't do tit for tat just because somebody do you wrong. Don't do it back to them. You don't have to have an attitude. You don't have to be mad. But there's a time when tit for tat is good.
That's right. So and that is that time that we're talking about.
When my boo do something sweet for me, I want to do something sweet back for my
and like I always say, you know what you do? Try to outlove each other.
Dude, that's
see how that works.
Yeah.
Try to outlove the person. Try to show them that love that they need. We always talk about love languages. Do you know their love languages? And if you do, pour that on.
Yes.
And then they will pour it on to you. And now that mutuality is there. That mutual respect is there. You start respecting each other because now you know they're actually genuinely showing love towards you. You're showing love toward them. And you're doing those things together. And trust me, you never know. Something that you may not like to do and your spouse likes to do, you may learn to like to do those things also.
That's so true because I used to not like golf. And I mean, I've been around the golf course since I was a child. I had a cousin that was he still is like a golf guru. And we used to go to his golf, what do you call them? They're not called golf matches. We used to go to his golf tournaments as a child. And then he got a scholarship to college. And then when my son was little, I bought him golf clubs. And then his uncle gave him real golf clubs. And we used to go to the golf course as a family, but I didn't necessarily care for it. But when I married James,
we took lessons together.
We took golf lessons.
We played golf together.
And I learned a different respect for it.
We went to Myrtle Beach.
He enjoyed.
We went to Myrtle Beach and played golf together.
We did? Myrtle Beach?
Mm-hmm.
I think
Hilton Head,
South Carolina.
Hilton Head. Sorry,
yeah, I was going to say Myrtle Beach. I don't remember how we going to get on here.
But that's something that we did together.
Yes.
And
I learned to like it.
And the thing is,
I love going to the driving range. Like I want to go. We need to go to the driving range.
And the thing is, you get to spend quality time together, just the two of you.
You guys, that's what you did when you were dating. When you were dating, you didn't just go over her house and sit on the couch and watch TV all night. That's not what you did. You took her out. Or you took him out. Y'all hung out. Oh no, I'm not saying watching a movie. I'm talking about just come home from work and come sit on the couch, and that's where you stayed that whole time you were dating. I don't think you would have got married if that was the case. No, you did some fun things. So why aren't you doing fun things now? Why aren't you dating? So I'm telling y'all, where is the love and the respect and the appreciation for marriage today?
And what we say is, you didn't marry to have fun, but having fun is a byproduct of the two of you committing to each other, committing yourselves to doing something together. Having fun is a byproduct of that. Just like when you work on your marriage, they say marriage is work. Okay, it's work, but it can be fun work if you're committed to making it work, making it happen. Once you're committed to making it work, you start having fun together because that fun will come out of doing that work.
That's right. But you guys, don't believe the hype out there. There's some great marriages out here. We're here to tell you we know about some. Matter of fact, we got Sparkle Centra on here. And I don't know if I'm allowed to say her actual real name, but yeah, she's been married 47 years, 48 years, almost 50 years. And she said she is still just as in love with her husband now as she was when she married him. Did they have some ups and downs? Sure. But we were just talking recently and she's like, I love my husband. That is amazing. And we know other couples that have been married 25 years, 27 years.
And that's the key. They talk about 50% ends in divorce, even though that rate is starting to go down.
It is.
But they never talk about the other half that's actually doing great. The other half that's thriving. The other half that is successful.
Yeah.
And so the ones that think you're heading for divorce, why don't you talk to a successful couple and see what makes their marriage work? What do they do to make it successful? That's why I always say a lot of times marriage ministries in churches work because couples that may be struggling, couples that may be going through some things, they go to marriage ministry and the people over the marriage ministry, and maybe even the pastors will talk about what it takes. And then they see other positive couples. That's why I always say surround yourself with positive couples that are thriving in marriage, and then you'll end up thriving. And that's what, let me go back to say why marriage ministries work. Because then when you see those couples thriving, you start talking to the couples. They'll start telling you some of the things they do. Some of the things, well, here's what we do. And it may not work for you, but you can take that and do a variation of it and make it fit for your marriage and make your marriage work.
Right. And also In order to really have a great marriage too, I think there's 3 types of couples that you need to hang around, right? First of all, you need couples who you can look up to, couples that you respect, couples that you know have a good relationship. There's one out there around you somewhere. Go find it.
So what do they say? You don't need to be the smartest one in the room.
That's so true.
So when you look at it couples wise, you don't always need to be around people where you're the best couple.
That's right. So find you a couple mentor, I call them, that you can look up to. The second type of couple you need to be around is your peers. People who have who are married and they love their spouse. They have a good marriage and they want to have a great marriage. They want to keep it that way. You need to hang around those types of couples. Don't hang around couples with raggedy marriages if you're not in a space to help them with their marriage, because it might pull you back down. But that don't mean you can't know them and be friends with them. What?
Go ahead. The third one.
The third one is couples that you can mentor and help pull up.
Yep.
Okay. Now.
That's why we always say, as a leader, or if you're the one giving advice, you should never cross that finish line alone. You should be bringing other couples with you. Like because if you have a great marriage and you feel you've crossed that finish line into having a great marriage, you should be pulling other couples with you into that great marriage atmosphere, so to speak. And let me say this. If you're married, I don't believe, or we don't believe, you should be taking marital advice from somebody who's not married, who's never been married, or maybe
got a terrible marriage,
or maybe who got divorced. You know, the best advice.
If they're bitter and they're not giving you advice for the two of you to be effective. Right. If they're telling you things like, I don't know, I wouldn't put up with that.
Right, because all they're doing is bringing negativity into your marriage and having you focus on the wrong things. Now you're focusing on, like we always say, their imperfections. No one's perfect, but you can focus on their imperfections, and because if you do, you truly can get everything that God has for your marriage, everything that your marriage will take to thrive, because now you're focusing on those little imperfections that sometimes don't even matter, but you're blowing them up and making those imperfections bigger than what they really are.
So true. I want to read what Sparkle wrote. She said, difference between happy and unhappy couples is not that couples don't make mistakes, which is true, right? But the difference is the happy couple find resolutions and kiss and make up. My advice is to have patience with each other, respecting the difference between each other. She's been married 46 years.
Because trust me, and that's so good, because everyone's different.
And then we're going to talk about that next week, differences.
Right. And sometimes it's those differences that allow you to thrive in your marriage.
Yes, and people don't think that.
But like she said, you know, if you kiss and make up, for example, if you have an issue and you go to people and tell them about your issue, now they're giving you advice on that negative part of your marriage. And if you go and make up, the other outside people don't see that, and they still will be bringing negativity towards your marriage when they don't know you already went home, kissed and made up. You know, that's conflict resolution. If you come to a resolution to resolve conflict and just keep it in-house and between the two of you, people will see the greatness in your marriage. Oh, they had a little conflict, but they resolved it.
But that's the next comment she made, and you didn't even see this. It says, unresolved conflicts linger. Yep. And this can be devastating. We're going to talk about differences next week. Right. But
unresolved conflict, baby, has that snowball effect, because it's not resolved, and then you have a conflict after that. It just builds and builds and builds because you never resolved it, and next thing you know, it's a blow up.
So I want to know, do most of the couples that you know, do they have an okay or good or great relationship or terrible? Post it in the group if couples you know got an
wait, what's the boxes? Poor, good, excellent. I don't know what the boxes are.
Poor, good, great, and excellent. I don't know. Yeah, but post it in the group if most couples you know got an okay relationship, a poor relationship, a great relationship, an excellent relationship. Like I take an excellent for us.
And it's funny because
that's just me.
A lot of people the couples that we hang around have a great marriage, have an excellent marriage. You know, and they actually, you know, we like to encourage people and tell people about marriage and maybe how to do it. And actually, sometimes they pour into us because we watch them and see what makes their marriage great. That's why we hang together sometimes.
And that's so interesting because I was thinking about this last night, but I'm sure James didn't think about it because he didn't know I was going to say all this. But you know, when I think about the couples that we hang around, we got couples that we look up to, like Pastor Steve and Wanda Martin. Like, you know, we look up to them because they have a great marriage. Our pastors, yes. So
and that was so funny that she talks about that. And what drew us to that church, because since we do everything together, so to speak. Well, we do almost everything together. When we went to that church that we go to now, we saw that it had a husband and wife. Both of them were pastors. And we saw their marriage and said, wow, their marriage is great. Mm-hmm. What a great church we go to. And it reminded us of us.
In our old church, our bishops had a great marriage. Sure, we looked up to them.
We looked up to them.
And so we have that. We have the mentors, the people that we can look up to, right? And then we got our peers. Like we have this crew that we call the road crew that we hang with, and they all have great marriages. So we got our peers, and then we got couples that we mentor. They're mainly young couples. You know, we have a couple of young couples. They, matter of fact, they've been married a while now, so they don't even like
that we help get to that place where they need to be. You know,
that we're just there for them if they need us.
And we always talk about getting to that sweet spot. You always want to be in that sweet spot of your marriage. Yeah. And what is that sweet spot? That sweet spot is when you have great communication. You're talking about everything. You do a lot of stuff together. Now, that's not saying
enjoying one another.
That's not saying you may do some stuff alone, but you enjoy. It doesn't bother you if you're doing stuff together. It doesn't bother you to go to the grocery store with your spouse. It doesn't bother you to go to Home Depot, your spouse goes with you. That kind of stuff doesn't bother you, you know, because now you're doing things together and you talk about everything.
That's right.
You know, that's where it leads. Once you start talking about everything.
So come on, y'all. I want to see you post in the group. We're doing a poll right now. Most of the couples that you know, do they have an okay or a great relationship or terrible? Is it poor?
And just think,
is it okay or is it poor?
Just think of the couples that may be your friends, couples you may hang with.
In your family.
Right.
I don't care if it's your neighbors. What kind of marriages do you see your neighbors have?
But sometimes
you see them fussing and fighting all the time.
And sometimes a problem can be that legacy part of, say, your family, where everybody in your family marriage ended in divorce, and you want to break that cycle. You know, you want to leave a great legacy for your children. And how do you do that? Children are visual. Children will see your marriage and say, you know, I want to marry like my parents. A lot of times when you see couples in divorce, they say, well, I come from a broken home. That's what they would say. I come from a broken home. I don't want that. You know, I don't want to come from a broken home. I want to come from a great. So I'm asking couples out there to get it together. Talk about everything. Yes. Show your children what a great marriage look like so they can have a great marriage.
That's so true too. That's where a lot of the love, respect, and appreciation for marriages went to. Kids saw their parents having raggedy, crazy marriages. Mm-hmm. So then they have no desire to have a good marriage.
Or no desire to even get married because they don't want to end up, say, like their parents.
Let's just talk about that for a minute. Do y'all know they say young people today don't even want to get married? They're not even interested. They don't see the value in it. They don't see the why. They don't see the success. Y'all, there are so many reasons why people should get married. There's so many, and I'm not even going to talk about the financial.
And I was going to say that.
Talk about, like, I'm telling you why I enjoy being married, right? Well, first of all, I know I was called to be a wife.
Okay, I was going to say she doesn't want to die alone.
Don't die alone no matter what.
I'm joking.
No, seriously, you're gonna die alone. Ain't nobody dying with you. And even if they do, you're not gonna know it because they're dead, okay? But no, seriously, like I knew I was always called to be a wife. I knew I was wife material as a child, you know, like I knew I wanted to get married and have kids and have a husband. And I knew I wouldn't mind cooking and cleaning and doing the laundry and taking care of the baby. So I know it's ingrained in me.
So I don't have to do anything if you want. If you know you're gonna do all those things.
I'm saying I knew it was ingrained in me to do it. Doesn't mean I want my husband to help me, right? But then too, I know I wanted somebody to spend my life with, like somebody to do things with. And I know you can do that if you're dating, if you're just you know, got a girlfriend, boyfriend. But I wanted somebody that was totally a part of my life. Like we like James said, we do everything together. Like We're connected. We can do things together while we're young. We can do things together throughout life. We can do things together when we're old and retire. You know, like somebody to go through life with. Yes, you can do that with a girlfriend, but come on, when you're not married, the chance of you staying together for your whole entire life is slim to none, right? It does happen, but very, very, very seldom. You are more committed when you sign that dotted line to stay with that person.
You know, we're gonna talk. Well, I don't want to get into the benefits, but there are benefits to being married because you know, Cindy and I teach marriage, business, and wealth, how you can make more money. Because for a man, for example, a married man will make more money than a single man. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's just a fact. That's just given, and statistics show that.
Right.
So we're just talking about the two of you together. You know, not. You know, we don't want to go into the benefits. We don't want to go into
but there are
all the benefits
to being married because it's just the world sees you differently when you're married. And you know, another thing that we found in our research, most successful people are married. I don't think there's ever been a president of the United States that was not married.
You know, I was reading.
No. Every president of the United States has always been married.
I wonder if that's a requirement.
No, it's not a requirement. But I wonder if a single man or woman ran for president, would they win if they were single? I wonder if that would happen. But every president and most wealthy men are married. Now, I'm not talking about some of those that we see in the media that's jet setting around the world, but most wealthy men, the sheiks, the princes, you know, the kings,
it's funny, baby.
Wealthy people all over the world, they have a spouse.
I was reading an article and it was about Jay-Z and Beyonce.
Oh Lord.
And how he messed up and he begged her to give him one more chance because of his past, because of his history, the trauma as a child and all of that.
That's true.
And she gave her one more chance, and now they're doing great from what the article was saying. So I'm saying, see?
Sparkle said if Donald Trump made it, anybody ain't that the truth, right?
But that just goes to show you that sometimes you just hang in there and work through it. And if you need help, go seek help.
Y'all.
And that may allow you to have a great marriage. There's nothing wrong with seeking a little help. Let me just say that.
But let me say this, and I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, babe, but do y'all know what makes a great marriage? Do you really know what makes a great marriage? Nobody is going to date and be all lovey-dovey and happy and get married and to be all lovey-dovey and happy the whole time. Challenges, situations, circumstances, conflict, sorrow, death, unhappiness, all that stuff is going to come along. But when you learn how to work it out together or even individually get yourself together, it's when you go through those things and come out on the other side is what helps you have a great marriage. Right. There is no perfect person. Things are going to happen in life. There's going to be conflict. You got to work through it. And you can't, look, you can't hide things under the rug, under the mat. You can't just avoid situations. You can't avoid talking to your spouse about what we call the hard conversations. It's when you can talk to them about those hard conversations, when you can help each other through the conflict or understand when your spouse is going through something and give them that little bit of space. Right. That's when you have a great marriage. You got to go through something.
Right. And it was so funny. I was listening to Miles Monroe, and he was talking about love. Love doesn't conquer all. You need more than just love in your marriage, because love doesn't overcome abuse. Love doesn't overcome, hard conflict, maybe infidelity, those sort of things. So you need more. And how do you get more? By knowledge, because the Bible says knowledge is power. So if you get knowledge on how to deal with some of the things maybe in yourself, or how to deal with being a better husband, being a better wife in marriage, knowledge is power. That's what I was saying before, before you said that.
That's what our foundational scripture is found. Proverbs 24:3-4. The house is filled with wisdom and the rooms are filled with knowledge, or something like that. But it says the rooms are filled with knowledge. So that means when you get married, everything you've done in life is knowledge within you. It's how you use that knowledge in your relationship that's going to help make it be successful.
Because back in the day, if you wanted to gain knowledge, and gaining knowledge means it doesn't hurt if you go seek help. But back in the day, it used to be, I'm not going to no therapist. I'm not going to no marriage counselor. I'm not going to no coaches. They can't tell me what to do, where they learn it from, how's their marriage, that sort of thing.
Oh my God,
that sort of thing. I'm not going to talk to nobody. Nobody can help me. But there's nothing wrong with going to see. What did I just say? Knowledge is power. There's nothing wrong with going to seek help, gaining that knowledge on how to do it better. Because everybody can't do everything alone and don't know everything. Everyone doesn't know everything. So as you go along in life, you gain knowledge on how to deal with certain things. Why not, listen to this. Everybody wants to be married, but everybody doesn't know how to be married.
That's nobody teaches us this stuff.
You pay for marriage, you pay for divorce, but you never want to pay on how to learn to be married.
That's so good. I love that.
Because just think of how you pay to be married. The wedding, the reception, all that money spent. And then just think of divorce. You pay. You may pay child support, you may pay alimony, you may have to sell your items and split the money. So you pay for marriage and you pay for divorce. But God wants to pay on how to learn to be married.
That's so good.
How to learn to get that knowledge to have a great marriage.
That's a good one, babe. That's a good one. Oh my gosh, I lost my train of thought because that was so good. I love it. I love it. I love it. But James is so right, you guys. There's nothing wrong with getting help. There's nothing wrong with seeking somebody to help you. We're here. We're here to help. That's our passion. We want to see you win. I know what I was going to say. You guys, we've helped so many couples to overcome things in their marriage and have a great marriage. I'll never forget a couple that we have, and we saw them somewhere, and they said, "He's my boo again." Like they were ready to get a divorce, but now he's her boo again. They're in love again because they had let some challenges in their relationship, some conflict, swept it under the rug and just was doing this avoidance thing, not really connecting, talking to one another. And then once we came in and we showed them how to see his side, see her side,
sometimes it takes an outside party to help you gain that vision on where your marriage is going. Help you gain that vision on how to have a great marriage.
Yes.
Because what they always say, you can't see the picture if you're the frame.
Yep.
So sometimes you have to see an outside party so they can see the full frame and the picture together.
Right. You said some more comments. It says, yes, couples make mistakes. Marriage is not over because somebody cheats. Marriage is not over because somebody does wrong. Marriage is not over because you don't like their attitude or the way they do things.
What does God say? You forgive what? 7 times 70?
Mm-hmm.
It's sometimes it's a lot about forgiveness, and forgiveness allows you to get past it. Sometimes it's not about forgiving the person. Sometimes it's about allowing yourself to forgive.
Mm-hmm. And like Sparkle said, don't be afraid to apologize, right? And we always say apologizing does not mean that you were wrong
or right.
If I say, baby, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. It doesn't mean you were wrong. It just means what I said rubbed you the wrong way, and now you got an attitude.
Right. And we always say that. It doesn't mean you're right or wrong. It just acknowledges the fact that you may have said something or did something to hurt their feelings. It doesn't mean you're right or wrong. You still may have been right, but it may have hurt them, and you're apologizing for the way they feel
and the way you may have said it.
Right.
But you know what? We've learned to apologize so well. Like if James feel like I did something wrong or whatever, and he'll say, you need to apologize. And I'll say to him,
accusing me of putting something where I didn't touch it.
And I'll be like, well, you need to apologize too. Like we make sure that apology is not a bad word in our house. Okay?
And the funny thing is that we can apologize so much, we'll start laughing about it.
Yeah. And sometimes we don't want to apologize because they're just doing that because we know you're supposed to apologize.
Right.
So
that is the right
I
thing
apologize.
to do.
I didn't do anything wrong. So it's become like apologize. Some people think that's a bad word. I didn't apologize because I ain't do nothing wrong. I ain't sorry.
Right.
They should have never did da 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 da. But forgive them anyway. Nobody's perfect.
Nothing wrong with a little forgiveness.
Nobody's perfect, and nobody's gonna get it right every single time. You ain't gonna get it right every single time.
But what it does is allows you to get past the situation, and it may allow you to see things from the other person's point of view. And that's all we're talking about, is that it's not always about you. Mm-hmm. It's about the two of you. It's about the we in the relationship. It's about the us.
Oh,
and allowing you to get past what the issue is, so the two of you, the us, can come together again and be a stronger we. Right. That's something we always talk about. From I do to we do. It's from I to we. And when you overcome certain things, it allows you to get past that I that you've been focusing on. What did I do? Or what did I learn? What did I? It allows you to focus on the we. We coming together. We getting past it as us. All right?
Right. So you guys, everybody doesn't have a broken and raggedy marriage.
That's right.
There are some amazing marriages. You know what? How you can find a great marriage? Google marriage on Facebook and look at all these marriage groups out there. There's so many couples who started marriage groups, marriage ministries, marriage clubs, marriage communities. Those are people who feel like they have a great marriage.
And you know, and when you look at the people starting a group, go look at their history. Go look at
their pictures and how they're talking about how much they love their spouse. Look at all the stuff
they're doing together. Look at how they are treating each other. Look at some of the comments that are being said. Yep. I mean, trust me, there's some great couples out there. And so my advice is for you to connect with some of them great couples that you see. Introduce yourself. Learn what they're doing. You know, and it doesn't hurt to ask. You know, I've noticed you and your wife, or I noticed you and your husband, and y'all seem to have a great marriage. What is the key to that? What is the key to you two having a great marriage?
Yep.
That's gaining knowledge, because they're going to tell you, oh, well, me and my wife does this, or she'll say, me and my husband, we do this. And there's nothing wrong with that knowledge and gaining that you gain from asking a person, how did you two have a great marriage? And trust me, sometimes I say, you know, it wasn't always this great. Let me tell you. And then they'll go into the story telling you about how it wasn't great, but how they overcame it. And doesn't it say you overcome by your testimonies? That's why a lot of couples who've been through some things are willing to share what they've been through to help you. See, their testimony, they already been through it. Right. It doesn't help them, it helps you, because they're willing to tell you what they've been through, what happened in their marriage, how they came through it, to give you advice, to give you that knowledge.
Right. And so we want you guys, if you...
Oh, I see some hearts flashing over there.
Oh, thank you for the heart. Thank you for the heart. So if you feel that you have a good, a great, an excellent, and okay even marriage, we want you to join us. Be a part of the In Love and Loving It Academy. We do fun and exciting and really amazing things in that group.
Right. And what I like about the Academy is that we talk about real issues. You know, people will talk about, look, I was going through this, but here's what we did to come out of it. Just like I was telling you before, that knowledge is power. We talk about those things because we'll ask, oh, y'all have a great marriage. I didn't know y'all been through that. How did y'all overcome that? What did y'all do to get past that? What did y'all do to get through that? And they'll start explaining, well, you know, it was a struggle, but we did this.
Yes, Sparkle said very good information, y'all. Thank you so much. Thank you for all your comments too, Sparkle. But you guys, just go to www.inloveandlovingitacademy.com. Check it out. Right now, you can join for $1. Who doesn't have $1? You can join for $1, test it out for 30 days. If you don't see the value in it, you lost $1. Or we'll give you $1 back. We got a 30-day money-back guarantee in that program. Now we're going to be starting back up real soon. We took the summer a few months off to revamp, regroup, and get ready for 2022. But now is the time to join, because we're putting together some amazing things. Every month we're going to recognize a couple. We're going to give away some prizes. We're going to send you gifts in the mail. I love prizes.
And I like when we have the discussion and we may bring on a couple who may have a great marriage book to talk about their book.
Yeah.
You know, that sort of thing. But if you have a marriage business out there, you need to
let us know. That's right.
Because we can bring you on to talk about your book, to talk about some of the things you may have been through, to help other couples in the academy.
Yep. And I like what Sparkle said. Use arguments to learn and grow. There's nothing wrong with having a disagreement.
Aggressive fellowship, as I call it.
We're gonna talk about differences next week. I think I told Sparkle we talk about this week. But our theme this month is, where is the love and respect and appreciation for marriage? Where has it gone? And so it's not gone, y'all. It's still here.
So
it's
this
still
is just,
here. The world makes it seem like it, and so people have lost respect and appreciation for it because of the way the media portrays marriage. They don't portray it in a positive way, but don't believe the hype. Go Google marriage. Go Google, go on Facebook and do a search for marriage. Go on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. You're going to see some people who lead marriage groups who are helping married couples out there, and they themselves have a great marriage.
Right.
Don't get no coaching, no counseling, no therapy from nobody who don't let you know that they already got a great marriage too.
Or
don't do it.
Ask them, how's your marriage? If I come to you, how's your marriage?
Yep. How you and your husband doing? Not just
Have
how
y'all
long you've been married.
Right,
That's
just
not
how long. Just because you've been married 20 years doesn't mean that you still have a great marriage. You just might be living together. You just might be roommates.
Coexisting in the same house,
right.
But you guys, marriages out there are thriving. You can have an amazing marriage. Yes, you can. We can show you how. Reach out to us if you need help. But join the academy if you got a good, okay, or great, or excellent marriage. Be a part of the good things that we're doing. Be a part of that other 50% who does care about their spouses, love their spouses, like their spouses. And we're going to help you to continue to be a solid, happy, successful, and prosperous marriage. And if you got any questions, post it in the group. Send us an email, info@marriagebuilttolast.com. We'll be glad to answer your questions.
I'm just going to say, and this is just the start of the month of November, where we're talking about marriage. Where we're talking about, like Cynthia said, we're talking about the love and respect. Where's the love? Where's the respect? This is just the kickoff of it. We're going to be talking more about love and respect and about the differences and about how to have that love and how to have that respect moving forward.
And appreciate the differences
because trust
that
me,
you two have.
You need to appreciate the person you're with.
Yes.
Because you got to remember, not only are you with them, they're with you.
I'm with you, babe. I got you, babe.
So
yes.
You need to appreciate that.
All right. You guys have a wonderful rest of the day, a great Saturday. We got some amazing things coming up in 2022. We got this chef who's going to let us come into his kitchen, and he's going to cook y'all up some stuff. We're going to actually give you the recipe, and you can cook that along with him while he's cooking it.
Breakfast with the Greene.
Breakfast with the Greene. We're going to get back to actually cooking in the kitchen, but we're going to have some chefs doing it, y'all. So be on the lookout for some of the amazing things, the fun things that we will be doing in 2022. I'm excited. We're revamping, y'all. We're revamping our business a little bit. It's all about growth. I got to say that. I heard Steve Harvey say something. Steve Harvey said, you set a goal. You achieve that goal. You're excited. You're happy. That's wonderful. You're at the end of a thing, right? But guess what? Now it's time to set a new goal. You got to always be moving forward. You got to always be achieving something. If you're not moving forward, what are you doing, babe?
Standing still.
You're standing still.
You're letting life, everything pass you by.
You're not growing. Everything's just passing by.
And what Cynthia said about Steve Harvey, I like to say, for me, it's going from here to there. That's my line. We're going from here to there. Where you are now is here. Once you get to that goal, you're there. But once you get to that goal, you're not there anymore. That becomes your here. And now it's time to get to there.
I like it. You got to keep moving, y'all. Keep moving. That's how you have fun in your marriage. That's how you have a great marriage. That's how you have success in life. That's how you accomplish things. I know y'all got some goals and dreams out there. We're going to be talking about that in December and January. Well, you guys have a great day. We love y'all. And we'll talk to y'all next Saturday, 11 o'clock a.m. sharp Eastern Standard Time.
And we always want you to remember.
And remember, if you build it, it will last. God bless you.
And that is a guarantee. Building it the right way.